The goal of women's empowerment is frequently described as improving our intellectual, social, and economic capabilities. In most countries, women empowerment is measured by their participation in the political, social, and economic spheres. Only when a woman is capable of gaining her rights to manage her life, when her voice is heard in society, when she can bring about social change, and when gender equality is balanced, can one say that she has truly been empowered. The percentage of women participating in politics in most countries during the past few years demonstrates a favorable trend for women's advancement in many countries. The active involvement in decision-making would describe the far more broad beneficial development of women's empowerment. Hence, participation in elections alone cannot be considered a good measurement. It has been demonstrated that opening up space for at least 35% of women in decision-making positions in many nations and on election manifestos is a sign of popular acceptance of views and political agendas. All efforts in this area should be directed towards bringing about a social change that will manifest as a balance between male and female forces in society. Women's lives must effectively converge. Women still lack rights in the majority of developing nations throughout the world, making up about half of the world's population overall. Women live in poverty because of extensive gender equality, especially in South and East Asian countries, apart from those in Africa. In many nations, the cultural and social divides between women living in urban and rural areas have not changed despite the development of technology. It has become widely accepted that women in these communities are primarily denied an equal standing to men, and as a result they remain passive recipients. Due to their lack of engagement and involvement in the creation of resources that are essential for growth, they continue to be powerless. Women must therefore actively partner with males if the objective of women's empowerment is to be fully realized. Including women in the mainstream of development is crucial for the success of any society's modernization initiatives. To achieve the ideal balance between the contributions of men and women in rural areas, we must give women equal chances without showing favoritism to men. For this to occur, women must be given the necessary support on all fronts, including social, economic, political, as well as religious, so that they can actively take part in all of the initiatives intended to advance society. If given equal possibilities in many sectors of life, such as social, economic, and political, women will have the option to lead an active life in society, which may also result in beneficial societal change. For the women to feel comfortable enough to express their ideas clearly and take more effective action, we need to build a supportive climate in the community. Equal chances must be provided for them to participate in making decisions that affect their family, society, and the entire nation. In terms of social and economic development, contemporary societies around the world have been exposed to enormous transition processes. However, because these procedures were not applied fairly, gender disparities increased everywhere in the world, with women continuing to bear the brunt of them. The circumstance has hurt the rate of women's empowerment so badly. So for women to coexist with their male counterparts and contribute equally to all the causes driving society's progress on a larger scale, we need a completely reformed society in which women can be given equal possibilities for growth. Over the past 30 years, more than 500 million women have entered the workforce globally, making up more than 40% of all workers. Though generally speaking, women make less money than men, although the reasons vary. Women are more likely than men to work in the informal economy or as unpaid family helpers. Also, compared to female farmers tend to grow smaller plots and less profitable crops. Likewise, female company owners run smaller operations in less profitable sectors. As for rights and voice, almost every country in the world has now ratified the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination against Women. However, in many nations, women, particularly poor women, have less control over household decisions and resources than men do. In both developed and developing nations, domestic violence is significantly more likely to affect women. Additionally, fewer women take part in formal politics globally. In both wealthy and developing nations, especially at higher levels, the development includes lower income poverty as well as bridging the gender disparity in well-being. Additionally, increased gender equality increases other development outcomes, including economic efficiency. It does this primarily in three ways. First off, if women's skills and talents are utilized more fully, overall productivity will rise, given that they now make up 40% of the global labor force and more than 50% of university students. For instance, agricultural output in developing nations may rise by up to 2.5 to 4% if women farmers had equal access to productive resources like land and fertilizers as males. By removing obstacles that prevent women from entering certain fields or professions, it may be possible to boost output by up to 25% in some nations, increasing women's labor productivity and participation. Second, by modifying household spending in a way that benefits children, women who have more influence over home resources, whether through their income or cash transfers, can improve the prospects of economic growth in their own countries. Evidence from some nations like Brazil, China, India, South Africa, and the United Kingdom demonstrates that children gain when women manage more household wealth, whether through their own employment or through cash transfers. Last but not least, empowering women as economic, political, and social agents can change political decisions and improve the diversity of views represented in institutions. How gender equality evolves as development proceeds can best be understood through the responses of households to the functioning and structure of markets and institutions, both formal like laws, regulations, and delivery of government services, and informal like in gender roles, norms, and social networks. More and more, we are realizing that there are many benefits, economic and others, that will result from closing gender gaps. Okay guys, that's all for today's video. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and also hit the subscribe button to get a daily dose of positivity.